What's up guys, it's me LankyB. So hey, it has been a while. I know that some people are looking at this video thinking LankyB, the guy who used to make Halo content, then vanished when we finally got Halo Infinite multiplayer. Yeah, that sounds about me, and I do apologise for that. I quickly just want to explain where I've been for the past month or so and why you haven't really heard anything off me unless you've been in the Discord. To cut a long story short, I actually had surgery on the 14th, so that basically means I went into hospital. I was there for about a day or so. There was a ton of swelling afterwards, a ton of soreness and pain, and it basically meant that I wasn't even able to talk. I know that sounds insane, but like it was really bad, and some people who actually was able to speak to me will be able to understand that. Even now, it is actually really painful to talk. There's quite a bit of swelling, which is why I might sound a little bit bloated, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's not as bad as it used to be. I'm not coughing up blood, and I'm not really swollen, so I look like a completely different person. I think today we should actually talk about Halo Infinite multiplayer. Now, I don't want to go too into detail with this. I don't want to dissect it completely because it is, as I said, painful to talk. However, I do want to just quickly give my opinions on it and what my overall thoughts of it were. But before we go on about the multiplayer, I quickly just want to mention the new kind of campaign details which we got. Actually seeing Chief going around what I think was the UNSC Infinity all destroyed, looking at Marines slowly moving them, you know, actually caring. That is one of the things which I love about Master Chief so much. In Halo 3, Master Chief felt so void of emotion because that's how he was meant to be. At least that's the kind of impression which I got of him. But in Halo 4, he had emotion. Kind of bringing that back, bringing back the personality of Chief just a little bit while still having these badass one-liners is absolutely fantastic. And even just the way which he slowly moves Marines out of the way and he kicks away Covenant. And heck, he even takes an assault rifle without disturbing one of the Marines because it just shows respect. It shows that Chief cares about humanity, and it's just really awesome to see that. Obviously, you've got to see the weapon, or whatever they're going to be calling it. It's a little bit interesting to see that Cortana was apparently meant to be deleted, and Chief did that, but now she's not deleted because the weapon is still active, and you know, kind of Dominican bias kind of vibes. I think that's what people are going on about, but you know what, it's interesting because they might be able to get Cortana back. At least Chief has a new AI going into this, and yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. The multiplayer itself, however, really didn't leave too much of an impression on me. I think really the first time it's just, whoa, look at all this stuff going on. The second time you break it down a bit more, it's like, wow, this is really interesting. There's so many cool things like the grapple jack and the way that some of the actual armor abilities work, or equipment pieces I should say. But ultimately we saw this in Halo 4 where they tried to hype it up, and then Halo 4's multiplayer was, well, Halo 4's multiplayer. They did it in Halo 5 where they tried to make, whoa, look at all this action, hype, whoa, you know, all the trailers where they used to have it. I remember the one infamous one was where it went, pizza, and it had a pizza skin for the assault rifle. You know, they make these hype trailers and it gets you hyped for the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that good. Don't get me wrong, it looks good. The skewer looks absolutely fantastic. We got to see a few new equipment pieces. I'm not too much of a big fan of that weird grenade launcher weapon which they showed. Don't get me wrong, it looks really interesting, but at the end of the day, he just shot it and it just almost homed in on that player and got a really easy kill. It's probably just that way for the trailer. Maybe it's not that easy to get that shot, but at the end of the day, when things are bouncing around, I always think of the scatter shot in Halo 5. The scatter shot in Halo 5 can bounce off walls to hit enemies, but it'll actually change the angle so it's more likely to hit a player when you bounce it off a wall, so it's kind of one of those things. But when you do see weapons like the skewer just launch warthogs halfway across the map, I don't know whether it's actually a banished sniper or a banished Spartan laser or a hybrid of both. However, I just think it's going to be so much fun to see these things interacting with the sandbox, and also you got your AIs as well. So you basically get your own AI, you can customize the shape of it, you can customize the voice from what I believe anyway, and you know what, that's really given some personality down to customization. I'm going to have to make a video soon talking about the shaders and me just going into details with it because it seems really dumb. But at the end of the day, these AIs where you can kind of give yourself maybe a superintendent looking logo, or for the voices, I'd actually love to have Jeeves from Titanfall 1. Maybe we can make that happen, who knows. But at the end of the day, the possibilities are almost limitless, and that's going to be really fun to see. I think the other thing which I quickly just want to touch on is the equipment pieces. The equipment looks really good. The grapple hook or grapple shot, whatever it's called, looks pretty interesting. The shield wall doesn't look as broken as we thought it would be, so that's also good. And I think we actually got to see two more. What was it? We got to see the reflector repulsor kind of thing where they bounced back a plasma pistol shot. Not the biggest fan of this, however you can actually throw a grenade at the floor and repulse up to kind of give yourself a grenade jump. You know, that's pretty cool. I just don't like the idea of somebody shooting a rocket and then being able to repulse it back at them, although that's pretty awesome. You know, so long as I'm not the person shooting a rocket at them, I think that's pretty okay. And the other thing as well which we got to see was kind of like a scanner area. It reminds me a lot of Titanfall or Apex Legends. You just shoot it at a wall and then it scans the area and shows the outline of the enemies. Not really too much of a big fan of that one, but you know what, it will probably grow on me, and who knows, it could be okay. It doesn't seem broken OP, but it does seem like something to actually counter people who are hiding in corners and various things like that. And that's more or less it. The battle rifle looks good, the pistol has had a bit of a redesign, and I just like the look of the game overall. The Spartan armors look fantastic, the colours on them looks good as well, but the shaders video needs to come out because, well, the way that they're doing shaders is just piss poor. I mean, they've even removed red versus blue at this point, so it's really just concerning. They don't have any intentions of making it so you can change your Spartan colours, so I don't know, it's a little bit iffy in that side. But at the end of the day, the Spartan individual customization looks awesome. The way that you can make your individual Spartan and go into multiplayer with those colours, again, that could be absolutely fantastic. I'm just worried about the competitiveness because, again, if you've got like black armour coatings, for an example, you might blend in with a map. So there's stuff like that, and confusion, friendly fire, it's just an outline which dictates who's on your team and who isn't. So yeah, that's something which is a little bit concerning to me. I think at the end of the day, it looks good. It's only the shader thing which is a little bit worrying to me, and the only other mini gripe which I have is the fact that when somebody was using the gravity hammer, it looks weak as hell. Like, that gravity hammer looks like it was sending nobody anywhere. You know, it was very weak. But at the end of the day, it does look fun, it does look hype, and it's actually caused a lot of people who wasn't really too hype about Halo Infinite to immediately get hyped about it, so that's always good to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe. I'll be trying to make more as soon as I've got my voice back, and yeah, thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one, peace out.